Welcome, and I'm so glad that we found each other. If you'd like to jump ahead to the monthly tarot read, check the timestamps in the description below. And to get the most out of this read, be sure to know your sun sign and your rising sign, and check the tarot reads for both. A quick disclaimer before we begin. Tarot reading is for entertainment purposes only. Tarot is not meant to replace mental health professionals or licensed therapists. If you or someone that you know is struggling, I've listed resources below. I'll be using a classic Celtic Cross to give us an overview of the month ahead. So let's go ahead, take a deep breath in and a longer exhale out. Let's see what the cards have to say. Since August puts us squarely in Leo season, we're going to start with fire signs. So, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, we're going to start with you. Fire signs, your question came up in the pile for material concerns and finances. Where you are at present, the King of Wands upright, your obstacles, the Five of Swords reverse. What crowns you, the Ace of Pentacles upright. What grounds you, the Page of Pentacles reverse. Energy that you're moving away from, the Knight of Swords upright. Energy that you're moving toward, the Nine of Swords reversed. How you feel about the situation, the Six of Pentacles reversed. How others feel about the situation, the Eight of Wands upright. Your hopes and fears, the Four of Cups reversed, and your ultimate outcome is the Queen of Swords. What I notice when I initially look at this spread is that where you're at the present, being the King of Wands, this fire sign, has three different swords over the top of it. So it's kind of like there's this fanning of a fire that's sort of happening. Like you've been wanting to stand your ground with something, which I've talked about quite a bit with fire signs the last few months. And there seems to be maybe issues of fighting, maybe some lying that's happening. Let's go a little bit deeper, looking at each one of the cards and beginning to build our story. To begin with, we have the King of Wands upright. What I love about this deck is it shows an individual who's like a rock star. King of Wands, so this is a person who has outward mastery of that fiery suit. This is someone who's running a company or leading the charge on new hobbies, new endeavors, some sort of new project. It's someone who can get things done because they have the experience and they have the authority to go through and actually make the thing happen. The obstacle, however, over the top of the king is this Five of Swords. And Five of Swords tells us that conflict is sometimes unavoidable. And since air fans fire, this conflict might really be bothering you and constantly sitting in the back of your head and is gnawing at you while you're simultaneously trying to get all of these other projects done. So what crowns you? So this is the highest thing you can aspire to. These are things that are working over the top of this read that you might not be aware of, more of the karmic energy. The Ace of Pentacles. There's a root spark for new financial opportunities. And since this question came up in the area involving money, makes a lot of sense. There is a new financial opportunity that has presented itself, and you are like, I'm good for this. I'm the right one. I have the abilities. I have the experience. I have the drive to get all of this done, to make this new thing happen. Maybe getting really excited about a new financial opportunity making its way to you. What grounds you, however, is the Page of Pentacles reversed. So the Page of Pentacles upright, this person is an artist. They're able to chisel away at the marble and make this beautiful statue. But upside down, the marble will remain uncarved. What this is telling you is that you are the only person that you can rely on to create this project. You know that. You believe in yourself. You know you have the goods for it. But don't hold yourself back and don't let procrastination stall you from what it is that you need to get started. What you're moving away from is the Knight of Swords. Maybe there has been a lot of arguing and conflict, maybe as depicted by the Five of Swords as the obstacle. So it's having to really go into battle and make known what your thoughts are and being able to get the last word. But you have to ask yourself, how important is it for you to get the last word? Is being argumentative and fighting holding you back, holding you hostage from being able to move forward, to get things started that you need to. Ultimately, to get projects off the ground, it's going to take a community. So don't push people away too hard simply because you have to get the last word or be right. The energy that we're moving toward, the Nine of Swords, but it is reversed. This is quite an auspicious omen. The Nine of Swords upright depicts an individual who is deeply anxious. This is the insomniac card, so it's sleepless nights. But in the upside down position, I oftentimes think of this as the knives kind of falling away. It's coming out of that anxiety, out of that sleeplessness, and being able to get a good night's rest. Maybe there's a real understanding that you can let bygones be bygones. You can leave these fights in the past because you're so excited about what's ahead, and it's beginning to turn a corner for you. This is allowing you to release serious anxiety about any number of the nuances you might have been experiencing in your life. How you feel about the situation, the Six of Pentacles reversed, you seem to be giving away a lot of money or a lot of resources. You know, starting a business or starting any sort of financial endeavor is going to take money to do it. You might feel slightly taken advantage of right now, or at the very least, be cautious about how much you dole out and to whom. Not everyone that asks for help is going to need help. So really dot your I's, cross your T's, right? Put your plan in place so that you know and can see if the numbers literally don't add up. How other people see the situation, the Eight of Wands, people know not to stand in your way. They know that when you're going to go do something, you're going to go do it. So good for you. I think this is great. This really shows that people around you understand that you are not going to mess around, that now that you have your eye on the prize, you're going to move toward it. But again, you need to move toward it with a solid plan. Hopes and fears, the Four of Cups, but it is reversed. This is an omen to get back into society. If you've been needing to protect yourself, and fire signs that I've been reading for the last few months seem to be in a place where they felt a lot of gossip, a lot of community pressure, there was a lot of chatter, maybe a lot of judgment, and maybe you really had to pull in and kind of protect your space and protect the project that you were making. Now is the time for you to re-enter society. So if you needed to feel alone, or you felt like you were just not finding your niche, you're finding it. You are finding what it is that inspires you and makes you excited about a project, about something that will hopefully bring material gains. So that is a wonderful omen. And last but not least, we close the month with the Queen of Swords upright. You have left behind the Knight of Swords energy and you're moving into the Queen phase. What this kind of shows is that perhaps you're ready to put down the brash past. Perhaps you've had a moment to reconcile and think to yourself about the ways that what you say affects people. And maybe you were like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be difficult. I don't want to be argumentative. There are things that I can let go of. I am now ready to still use my intellect. I'm still going to hold my ground. I'm still going to say my piece, but I understand now new ways of communicating it that are led more with the heart, maybe led more with the intuition and less with the lizard brain. And you'll be able to be understood more easily. And hopefully people will feel more seen and more heard by you. I think this is a really wonderful way to end the month, and good for you. The last few months, as I said, the readings have shown a lot of anxiety in social circles. So to be stepping into who it is that you deserve to be stepping into kind of a court card, a queen and king era, I think this is a really lovely omen for you that things are starting to turn and that it's time for you to kind of come back into society and to come back into your community. If this resonated, please hit like and subscribe. Water signs, that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This is your read. Your question came up in the career section. Where you're at present, the Ace of Swords reversed. Your obstacle, the Six of Pentacles upright. What crowns you, the Page of Cups upright. What grounds you, the Emperor reversed. What you're moving away from, Judgment reversed. What you're moving toward, The World, upright. How you feel about the situation, the Ten of Swords, upright. How others feel about the situation, the Chariot, reversed. Your hopes and fears, the Mob, reversed. This is not a card in the classic Celtic Cross, so we'll go over this. And the ultimate outcome is the Nine of Cups, reversed. The first thing I notice when I look at this spread is that half of the cards are major arcana. What this tells me is that this month is going to be big dominoes for your life. So buckle up and get ready, because things are really going to take off for you this month, particularly pertaining to your career. You're probably going to get some very big answers, have some very big tests, and have some very big choices to make. Let's go a little deeper into the spread and see how the cards build out a story for your August. So to start with, we have the Ace of Swords, but it is in the reversal position. Aces are all about that root spark, and swords are about the mind, the intellect, decision-making. This card tells me there's a bit of mental self-sabotage right now, potentially with regard to your career or what it is that you're trying to get off the ground. You might be overthinking it, or you might not be putting enough work in, or you're putting work into the wrong areas, and it's feeling like you're kind of spinning your wheels, and it's like, this card says, am I making the right choices? Have I thought through things correctly? Is what I'm seeing a mirage, or is it real? My advice to you with this card showing up is to say, call your energy back to you, simplify what it is that you are doing so that you can fine-tune your energy and keep things focused in one place. If you scatter too many things in too many places, it won't let you focus on the things you need to focus on in order to level up in your career. The obstacle, the Six of Pentacles, and it is upright. We pulled this with our fire sign. The Six of Pentacles is about receiving money in the upright position or giving money if it was in the reversal. The Six of Pentacles in this obstacle position, particularly because it's a career reading, tells me that maybe the money isn't going to be there that you wanted to have. They might be lowballing you, or you might feel like, gosh, this really is not enough. What's going on? But, the job market is so tough. I just need to take whatever I can get. So something tells me that the compensation you're going to be offered for the roles you're going out for might be underwhelming or might be some kind of obstacle. What's crowning you, or these karmic influences working over the top of this situation that you may or may not be aware of, with the Page of Cups, is good news. This is a happy messenger. These are happy things coming your way. So maybe lots of opportunities, or people trying to help you connect the dots, or people seeing you as someone who's really fun and hopeful and vivacious and kind of infusing new life into what it is that you're doing. What grounds you is the Emperor, but it is in the reversal position. This card is a reminder not to push too hard, not to be too fiery. Don't ruin good things before they come to you because you're pushing too hard or pushing things away. The energy you're moving away from is Judgment, but in the reversal position. The Judgment reversed card is all about needing more spirituality than what you're cultivating. So it's possible that in the energy you're moving out of was a realization that you need to take on more studying of spiritual things, or taking time to be quiet so you can sit with yourself. Spirituality is a relative term. It means different things to different people. The Judgment card in reverse really implores you to take on a more mindful practice, because spirituality means such different things to different people. So consider ways that you can continue to have a conversation with yourself to move toward highest path, highest self, and servicing the greater good. The energy that we are moving into is the World upright. This is very exciting. The World really represents completion, and the fact that we have the number 20 straight into the number 21 would mean that you did some homework. You really sat with yourself, sat with what your goals were, sat with what the possibilities are, and figured out a way forward, leaning into your strengths to get what it is that you want. I feel like there's a really big cycle and a really big lesson that's been learned here, and a big aha moment that maybe is happening for you or is going to happen for you in short order as we move into August. How you feel about the situation is a bit backstabbed. Maybe there was someone you were interviewing with that wasn't forthright about what the job would entail, or compensation issues came in lower than you expected. You hoped for one thing and got another. Something doesn't feel quite right within you about how the nuances of things have maybe played out. However, with the 10 of Swords in our classic Rider-Waite deck, there's a sun that pokes through in the back, and it reminds us that after every night must come the rise of a new dawn. I would encourage you to at least conceive of the idea that the worst of it might be over. That also might explain why at present you're sitting with this Ace of Swords reversed. There's like this fear that, well, gosh, I didn't get all the information, or they weren't on my side, or there was backstabbing that happened. And I really don't trust what's happening right now. I don't trust that I have the information. I don't trust that this is going to work out. And I'm feeling a little bit grumpy and a little bit reactive about it. But trust that after every night, a new dawn will rise. And the 10 of Swords gives us that in its classic Rider-Waite imagery. And also within this card, after the backstabbing, there's going to be a new party to go to. How others feel about the situation is the Chariot reversed. People in your circle might think you're spinning your wheels a little bit, or they might not understand which direction you're going down. Maybe you had like a really quick change of career path, or something else popped up and people are like, wait, what? Like, why that now? That makes no sense. That's very weird. So again, Chariot is about movement, conquering. It's kind of a victory card. It's very much driving toward a goal. So in the upside down position, it's either like all of the wheels are coming off, or it represents also kind of a scattered energy, because upside down, the charioteer cannot control the horses. So again, going back to that Ace of Swords, the combination of maybe some backstabbing and also like knowing which direction to go has been a little bit of a discombobulation in your life, but you're going to push through. It's okay. In the hopes and fears section is the Mob, but it is in reverse. Now, this card does not appear in the classic Rider-Waite deck, but I do rather like it. The simplest meaning for this card is mob mentality. And there's a great description of this card that I'd like to read. Ask yourself whether you are still doing this for the sake of your cause, or simply because you are unable to abandon the fight. So the Mob reminds us to slow down and take stock of why it is that we're doing what it is that we're doing. Perhaps the path that you were going down was not the one to proceed down, and that's why that Chariot was upside down. You had to change the course. Since the Mob is in the upside down position, it also could mean that you have gotten clarity. You understand that running with the same thing just because that's the narrative that you've told yourself isn't working. So I look at this as a flexibility, a departure from the mob mentality. So whatever that means to you, this is in your hopes and fears section. Our ultimate outcome, the 9 of Cups, but it is in the reversal position. The 9 of Cups is the wish card. So the simplest way to interpret a reversal is that the wish does not come true. And if it doesn't come true, what I would encourage you to ask yourself is what you learned from it. Because if we don't learn anything from our discomfort or from the things that don't work, then what's the point? Failure is going to happen. Another way to look at this besides wishes is not to overindulge. Consume with moderation. Don't run away with overindulgences just because things are available to you. In summation, as I look at this spread, I see a lot of possibilities, a lot of hope, a lot of reasons to dream, and a lot of opportunities for growth. Continue to ask yourself, what have I learned? How can I continue to come to the middle path? What are my causes? What am I fighting for? What is my personal truth? If you continue to move toward your North Star, chances are high that you'll be successful. And good luck with whatever these career questions are. New here? Please consider subscribing and stick around. Air signs, your question came up in the money and finances section. The situation at present, the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Your obstacle, the 7 of Pentacles upright. What crowns you? The Chariot upright. What grounds you? The 7 of Swords reversed. The energy you're moving away from, the 3 of Pentacles upright. The energy you're moving toward, the Sun upright. How you feel about the situation, the 9 of Cups upright. How others feel about the situation, the Page of Wands upright. Your hopes and fears, the Magician reversed. And your ultimate outcome, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. As I look at the overview of this spread, I want to remind you that you have a lot of things working for you, particularly if your question pertains to finances. more so than you might think. My words of encouragement to you would be to focus more on what you have and what's working as opposed to not this month. Looking more deeply at this spread, we have the Queen of Pentacles, but reversed. For your present situation, you might be feeling very ungrounded. The advice here is go stick your feet in the grass and take a second, take a breath in order to remind yourself of what's working and what it is that you do have. There's a bit of an overdependence on other people, maybe not so much self-sufficiency or not believing that you have what it takes to make the plan and to implement something into action. The queens can represent energy moving more inwards. So there might be a great deal of focus about the ways in which you personally need to improve your systems, your processes, your way of going about doing things to be sustainable because you have so many financial goals that you're trying to hit. And the obstacle over the top of this, the Seven of Pentacles upright, tells me that you've got a lot of irons in the fire, or you're going back for a deep apprenticeship. That might be why you're having such a tough time believing that you have what it takes to sort of put things in place, because there's so much that's new and unknown to you. The Seven of Pentacles reminds us that a watched pot does not boil. So it's going to take time. Rome was not built in a day. You can't be impatient. It's great to watch things grow. I look at my garden daily wondering, which things have grown or what's gotten eaten. But again, you have to give yourself rest. You have to give yourself room, and you have to trust that the seeds that you plant will be growing. What crowns you is the Chariot. It's go time. So maybe you feel like you're learning how to fly the plane while you're flying it. Maybe there's been a new job or something that is requiring a lot of focus because you need to finish something to get paid or get some money. So go forth. Trust that your intuition or your instincts are going to work for you. You know what you're doing. You'll be able to keep it together. Just stay the course, trust, and keep practicing. Keep practicing and you'll get better. What grounds you? These are the things you're aware of. The Seven of Swords, but it is in the reversal position. So ask yourself if you have been doing white lies, if you have been a little bit white lied to. This is not harmful lying per se, but it might be things that you've been told or things you're telling other people to keep something moving, especially because we're going to move into this Three of Pentacles energy, which is all about community building or working with a group of people to make a project happen. It sort of feels like maybe things were not entirely what they seem, or you're going to find some misunderstandings, some clerical misunderstandings, or some communicative misunderstandings that were like, that wasn't part of the plan. But try not to get too upset about it. It's not necessarily a big deal. This also could be that you're putting something together with a community that greatly diverges from the mainstream. And you're like, ooh, how are we going to get this done? Are people going to like it? Is it going to sell? Is it going to work? So I'm interested, but you're really taking something forward that maybe is a little bit out of the ordinary. The energy you're moving away from with the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is all about community. It's about building towards something. So you might have been working on building a project with a group, and think about where you would sit within that. Are you the intern? Are you the person learning how to do the thing? Are you the one implementing the plan and managing it? Or are you the benefactor and the person who is sponsoring some sort of project? It seems that you were working with a community of people to build a solid foundation, be that a literal brick and mortar house or something a bit more figurative, but in that vein. The energy we're moving toward is the Sun. What an auspicious card. The Sun is emotional fulfillment. It is completion. It is a warm, sunny day, and it is summertime, so I hope you're having a beautiful summer. But this is a very exciting card to be moving into, especially if you're trying to get a project off the ground, especially if you're looking for a good omen with your finances. Having the Sun and the energy you're moving toward position is great. How you feel about the situation, the Nine of Cups, hopes and wishes. So your hopes and wish might really be coming true, where you're starting to take your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, carrying them forward, making them happen, bringing them into fruition. You have found the community of people to help you make it happen. It might diverge from the mainstream a little bit, but a lot of people are going to love it and be really happy by it. I think this is super cool. You've had a couple great months, air signs. I am thrilled for whatever it is that you're putting together. How other people feel about the situation. The Page of Wands, they see that you are at the beginning of an exciting journey. You might literally be a mountain climber. Maybe you are taking the weekend to go mentally reset and go off with friends. Whatever it might be, though, again, the Page of Wands in its most literal sense is the inception and the jump off point of exciting adventures. It's this childlike energy, being ready to take on anything, flexible mind, flexible heart to be able to start new adventures. Your hopes and fears, the Magician in the reversal position, maybe it feels too good to be true. Maybe you wonder if you can actually have it all and have all this magic. And the answer is that you can. You can have it all. You can be in a sunny place and not feel guilty about it. That's the most important thing. Enjoy the present. What goes up must come down. So indulge in the fact that things are working out. Indulge in the fact that your hopes and wishes are coming true. Indulge in the fact that you are strong enough to take on new adventures. And finally, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. The Ace of Pentacles in the upright position is the root spark of finances. And since that's largely what this question is about, we would probably want it to be in the upright position. With it being upside down, I want to ask you, are you fulfilled by what you've created? And as part of the reason why perhaps you're doubting yourself or your magic, because you're discovering that success in the financial realm is not all that there is to life. This is the question to ask yourself, particularly when you think about the sun. What drives you? What makes you happy? What makes you feel warm, fuzzy, spirited, loved? What are the ways in which you can truly come into community? And are the ways in which you are using your talents and your privileges servicing the larger community or yourself? By helping others, we are able to truly help ourselves. And that might give you some of the emotional fulfillment that you're looking for as you close off this month or as you think more deeply into this spread. If the cards had something to say to you today, please like this video and subscribe. Earth signs, that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is your read. Earth signs, your question came up in the money and finances section. You at present, the sun upright. Your obstacles, the Two of Pentacles upright. What crowns you, the Empress upright. What grounds you, the Queen of Swords reversed. The energy you're moving away from, the Nine of Pentacles reversed. The energy you're moving toward is the Four of Swords reversed. How you feel about the situation, the Chariot upright. How others feel about the situation, the Seven of Swords upright. Your hopes and fears, the Eight of Pentacles upright. And the ultimate outcome is the Nine of Wands reversed. In looking at a big overview of this spread, it feels like you're very satisfied, very spiritually happy right now, maybe juggling a lot of things, but definitely coming into your own. It also feels like you're moving towards some sense of completion on some day-to-day things, some resolution regarding financial matters. As we look at the spread more deeply, you at present, the sun, you are glowing right now. What a lovely time of fulfillment. You must be having a lot of fun with friends, with family, with yourself. Enjoy this. The hardest thing for you is to keep it all balanced. Maybe you're juggling multiple jobs, juggling multiple projects at the same time, and that might be interfering with some things, or maybe it's fueling some things. Maybe you're so excited to be doing so much, and this is a really fulfilling time for you. But your question might be, how do I keep this up? How do I make enough money to do all the things that I want to do? What crowns you? The karma you may or may not be aware of is the Empress. You are loving watching things grow. Maybe you're taking solace in the outdoors or really enjoying being in your body, really enjoying who it is that you've become, who you've worked so hard to be. Life is fruitful and bountiful for you, and it feels like you want to share it with other people, which is really lovely. What's grounding you? Things that you're working with right now, the Queen of Swords reversed. I would remind you to lean more into your sensuous self instead of your strict and tough emotional self. The Queen of Swords reversed can really cut someone if she wants to. And just be cautious that you're not juggling so much that you start to snap at people. What you're moving away from, the Nine of Pentacles reversed, you might be so focused on your garden and building things that you sacrifice some interpersonal relationships. You're moving away from that, though, and maybe there was a time you needed to go underground. You needed to work on what it was that you were creating that needed to take priority. While people will understand it, this is just a reminder to check in with people that you care about, because we're only here a temporary amount of time. And the energy you're moving toward with the Four of Swords reversed would say that you are coming out of this solitary moment and moving back into being around people and being back to your usual routine. Things feel like they're stabilizing a bit more such that you can come out of that moment of repose, come out of the moment of deep meditation, and move back in among people and the community that maybe you had to neglect for a little while. How you feel about this situation, it's been go time. You have been doing a lot. Maybe you've kind of taken on more than you can chew, but you're like, I'm going to get through it. I'm smart enough. I will figure it out. And you probably feel ready to see friends again, to re-engage and get the party started. Other people might not quite understand where you've been or why it was that you had to step away. Maybe some people feel like you haven't been completely forthcoming with them. Maybe you're not able to be completely forthcoming with them. For whatever reason, maybe there's certain material things that have happened that just have to stay close to your chest. Don't let other people pressure you into telling them more than you're ready to divulge. You are allowed to keep things to yourself if you want to, even if not everyone else completely understands it. Hopes and fears. If you have been working on a project, you might either really be hoping that you have what it takes to bring this thing to the next level because you are hard at work. You have been making plans. You have been getting things in place and juggling so many things so that this moment can happen. Or you also might be afraid, do you have everything you need in place in order to bring something forward? What I see here is an excitement, but maybe also an apprehension about how hard you're going to have to work to get this financial thing that's a goal for you. The ultimate outcome, the Nine of Wands, but it is in the reversal. This is going to take a lot of energy. You are going to need to dig deep into your emotional reserves to bring things forward. You are going to have to work really hard. You know you're going to have to do a lot of juggling. You know you're going to have to keep things in check so you don't snap at people. You know you're probably going to be really tired, but you also recognize that people and relationships in your life are important. What I want to encourage you, my earth signs, is that life is a juggling act. This will never stop being a challenge. All you can try and do is keep things as balanced as possible, knowing that your opportunity costs will constantly be changing. Sometimes life will simply be a this or a that. You're not going to be able to keep everyone happy. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone may always believe you, even if you're not lying. People simply might say, well, that makes no sense. And that's okay. You don't have to get angry at them. Do your work, preserve your energy, do what it is that you need to do so that you can be victorious in whatever it is that you're investing in. You got this. Please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. You never know whose month you might change. Thank you so much for joining me for this month's reading. Remember, you have the power to work with these energies consciously. The cards show us possibilities, never certainties. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your intuition above all else. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to like, share, or comment with what resonated most for you. And I'll see you next month for another pull. Until then, trust yourself and move with intention. Take care.